Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. My respected brothers and sisters, this video is going to look at the life of Ibrahim alayhi salam. In light of the approaching season of Hajj, I think fit to look at the story of Ibrahim, this great prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is father of the prophets. He is the father of Ismail and Ishaq, and almost all prophets that descended after Ibrahim, they came directly from Ishaq or Ismail. Ishaq was the father of Yaqub, Yaqub was the father of Yusuf, and Musa and Isa, they were all descendants of Yaqub. Yaqub was the descendant of Ishaq. And on the other side, Ismail is the great grandfather of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this great prophet of Ibrahim was a direct descendant of Noah. This great prophet of Allah, Ibrahim, was a direct descendant of Noah, and Ibrahim was born in the city of Babylon in Iraq. Ibrahim alayhi salam, he happens to be sent at a time that Lut alayhi salam was also sent. Lut is the nephew of Ibrahim. Ibrahim also is the greatest prophet that is living in the seventh heaven. Ibrahim alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose him to be his friend. But when Allah chose him to be his friend, Allah put him through a lot of difficulties. At a very early age, Ibrahim came to be born in an environment of kufr and shirk. Ibrahim was born at a time where idol worshipping was at the highest in any period of time. And his own father was making this idol. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded us in Surah Al-Maryam when he said, واذكر في الكتاب إبراهيم إنه كان صديقا نبيا إذ قال لأبيه يا أبت لم تعبد ما لا يسمع ولا يبصر ولا يغني عنك شيئا يا أبت إني قد جاءني من العلم ما لم يأتك فاتبعني أهدك صراطا سويا. This is Surah Al-Maryam, ayah number 42 to 43, and the ayah goes on. And mentioned in the book Ibrahim, verily he was a man of truth, a prophet. When he said to his father, O my father, why do you worship that which hears not, sees not, and cannot avail you in anything? O my father, verily there has come to me the knowledge of that which came not unto you. So follow me, I will guide you to the straight path. Ibrahim was a prophet that was sent to guide people. He came at a time when idol worshipping was at the top. And what surprised Ibrahim was the way that people behaved when they entered into these temples. Ibrahim has never worshipped idols in his life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exonerated him. And he said that Ibrahim never worshipped idols and never committed shirk. But then Ibrahim will see his people, his community. They will come and they will bow and they will start to cry, begging and giving sacrifice food for these idols. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, he felt hurt, because in his heart it was pure for the belief of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the community, they were having a grand festival, but Ibrahim was planning that when the people left the city, he will stay behind and he will enter the temple and he will talk to the idols. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, فَرَاغَ إِلَىٰ آلِهَةٍ فَقَالَ أَلَا تَأْكُلُوا. Then he looked at the idols and asked them, will you not eat what has been sacrificed for you? Ibrahim was angry and he started to smash all the idols and left the axe on the big one. When his community came back and they were asking who did it, and Ibrahim looked at the biggest idol and told them to ask the biggest idol who did the smashing. So we understand from this that Ibrahim alayhi salam wanted to set the record straight, that when you worship, you only worship Allah. But the community, they were born in anger in their hearts, and they decided to punish Ibrahim. And they said, قَالُوا حَرِّقُوهُ وَانْصُرُوا آلِهَتَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ فَاعِلِينَ. They said, burn him and protect your gods if you do anything at all. They dug a deep pit, deep hole, and they all put firewood. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was born in this fire. In fact, literally every member of the community, they went to harvest firewood in order to contribute. Even those who are sick, who were not able to go and fetch firewood, they would pay somebody else to get the firewood in order to burn Ibrahim. And Ibrahim, when he was being catapulted to this fire, he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the distance he was put on the catapult and to the time that he was thrown, which is literally few seconds, he said, وَقَالُوا حَسْبُنَا اللَّهُ وَالنِّعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ. وَقَالُوا حَسْبُنَا اللَّهُ وَالنِّعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ. حَسْبُنَا اللَّهُ وَالنِّعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ. He said, Allah is sufficient for us and He is the best disposer of affairs. So Ibrahim, before he landed on the fire, Jibril came to ask him for what he can do for him. Then he said, I put my trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered his dua when he said, قُلْنَا يَا نَارُ كُونِي بَرْدًا وَسَلَامًا عَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ. We said, oh fire, become cool, and it means for safety for Ibrahim. And that was miraculous. Fire normally burns anything that comes close to it, on it, or in front of it. But Ibrahim, everybody saw in daylight how he was relaxing and he walked out of the fire just as somebody who is walking on the grass. Yet, the people never believed because they were scared of their king, the king at that time called Namrud in the city of Babylon. Namrud heard of Ibrahim's safe exit from the fire and he became agitated. He feared about his status when he claimed that he is God. And now he wanted to challenge Ibrahim into a debate. And Allah, He narrated us, أَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَى الَّذِي هَاجَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ فِي رَبِّهِ أَنْ آتَاهُ اللَّهُ الْمُلْكَ إِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ رَبِّيَ الَّذِي يُحْيِي وَيُمِيتُ قَالَ أَنَا أُحْيِي وَأُمِيتُ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْتِي بِالشَّمْسِ مِنَ الْمَشْرِقِ فَأْتِ بِهَا مِنَ الْمَغْرِبِ فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Literally, what Allah is saying, that Ibrahim, when he came to have a debate with Namrud, who was the king, who was the tyrant, and who was claiming to be God, Ibrahim told him that my God is the one that gives life and death. And Namrud said, that is easy. I also give life and death. He commanded his guard to go to the prison and get 2 inmates and freed one and kill one. Then Ibrahim said, my God is the one that causes the sun to rise from the east. And now if you're really God, make the sun to rise from the west. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said He doesn't give help and guidance to those who are just. Namrud was destroyed by a mosquito. Imagine a mosquito, even your nail tip is stronger or bigger than a mosquito. Yet God wanted to show us that He is the only one that is worth of worshipping. Ibrahim left his people and went into Haran, or in the Palestinian area. Over there too, he met a different community. And Ibrahim still wanted to establish the worship of Allah alone. And he found these people worshipping the stars. And Ibrahim will join them and tell them that these stars cannot be God, because the star will set. Then at the night time, the moon will come and they will follow and worship the moon. Ibrahim will reason and logic with them and tell them that the moon cannot be God, because nighttime the moon will come, but it will set. And in the morning they will worship the sun. Then Ibrahim will tell them that yes, the sun, you cannot worship it because the sun will set. God doesn't rise and set, and you cannot worship the stars and the moon and the sun. Unfortunately, the community didn't believe in Ibrahim. As Allah, He said, لا تسجدوا للشمس ولا للقمر واسجدوا لله الذي خلقهن إن كنتم إياه تعبدون. Do not prostrate yourself to the sun nor to the moon, but prostrate yourself to Allah who created them if you worship Him. Until today, unfortunately, people are still worshiping the sun. People are still worshiping the stars. When you look at your stars and said, I'm Taurus, or I'm whatever star that you think you belong to, you look at what is your star telling you. This is an indirect way of worshiping the sun. But Ibrahim came to establish the true worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, we as Muslims should focus our worship in worshiping Allah with Tawheed Rububiyyah, Tawheed Uluhiyyah, Tawheed Asma wa Sifa. Inshallah, when we come again, we'll look at Ibrahim's journey to Egypt and subsequently what happened when his wife wanted to be harmed by the king at that time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to strengthen our faith and our belief and give us a pure tawheed so that whatever we do it for His sake. Whatever we pray for the sake of Allah. Whatever we look at the signs of Allah, the asma wa sifat, the names and attributes of Allah, we give it as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defined Himself. Ameen.